It's now time for us to go into an interview, and it's harmattan. We might not be feeling it right now, but it's still the season of harmattan. And if there's one thing that's very salient in this particular season is fire prevention, as everything is dry and it's very easy for fire outbreaks to occur. Now, there's a saying that fire is a good servant, but not a very good master. And let me read out some statistics here from the Ghana National Fire Service that indicates that a total of 3,783 cases of fire outbreaks were recorded in 2014, as opposed to the 4,171 cases recorded in 2013, meaning there was a reduction by 388 cases. But we do not have to rest on our oars, and we are going to be looking at how we can prevent fires, the causes, the effects, the mitigation, of course, by the department, and also on us, the onus being on us as citizens. And to help us do this, we have in studio Mr. Prince Billy Anaglate. He is a Deputy National Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service. Good morning, sir. Welcome to New Day.
Good morning.
Right. It's harmattan. We might not be feeling it now, but how does the harmattan season influence fire outbreaks?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. It is true that the harmattan seasons have effects in terms of fire outbreak because of the dry winds that comes with the harmattan season. These dry winds take off moisture content in all combustible materials. Okay. So those combustible materials that you must subject to a certain temperature of heat previously before the harmattan, that they might not start burning. You don't need that temperature now before they will start burning. Simply put, the harmattan has reduced the ignition temperatures of all these combustible materials, and in effect, the ambient temperature at which these things will be burning is now very low. So it is just that any careless introduction of heat to any of these combustible materials would definitely start fire.
Right. Now, what has been done in terms of sensitization by your department?
Yeah, we know, it's seasonal, effects that every year we have the harmattan. So the chief officer did not wait till this harmattan season. From the beginning of the year, several measures were put in place. He was actually committed to ensure that fire stations are established in every district.
That's one of the measures.
Yes. Why? Because when you have a fire station in every district, it means the people will not be waiting for any eventuality. What we have introduced now is community door-to-door fire safety education, that if they are in your district, then they will be getting out to the district to be educating people on fire safety measures. And that would definitely also prevent some of these occurrences of fires. We have also, launched several educational teams that some of them have been tasked to get to the churches to educate people. Some are even at the lorry parks as at the time we are talking. And then in those communities that we have not been able to establish the fire stations now, what we did was to train 500 volunteers in those communities as at now. And that these volunteers will also get out there and be educating people and to be monitoring the activities of farmers, hunters, because they fall the majority of people that cause bush fires in this period. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, we also have a task force, both in the cities and in the rural areas. The task force, there is one that goes in to inspect the filling stations and those other commercial premises to see if really they put in safety measures to prevent fires in the first place. We have also have people, a team that goes in the market as we are talking, from morning till the evening, that they are monitoring the activities of the traders in the market, and they ensure that at the close of the day, everybody leaves the market and ensure that every electrical gadgets or gas or fire sources that they use are properly, put off before they leave the market. We also ensure that at least people do not again use the market as a sleeping place, because we are monitoring those other areas. We have also. How
does sleeping there in the market affect?
We talk about the dry winds taking off moisture content. People sleep in the market. When there is power outage, they use candles, they use coils, they have turned the market to be, a drink. They have a drinking spot, they have chop bars after the market is closed. All these sources of fires, have been responsible for some of those previous fires that occurred.
Okay.
We also have a task force, that move in the night. Inspecting these schools, places of entertainment, and those other areas, also to ensure that first they do the occupancy load of those premises are not overloaded. Simply put, they have not allowed people into those entertainment places exceeding the number of people that are supposed to be there at the time. It has caused a building collapse before. It has caused stampede and other things. So we have set our people down into the town now to educate people.
When you say town, where specifically? Is it just Accra?
No, even because the chief officer has instructed all regional commanders as well also to liaise with the assemblies, also to have contingency plans for both the market and the educational aspect in the regions, to ensure that everybody, wherever you are found and you are educated on the fire safety measures. It's just about the measures. If you are able to put your premises, on a good housekeeping, I think most of these preventable fires will be prevented.
Well, you have painted the department in a very beautiful light. However, we have to admit that the populace is not very enthused about the contributions of the department when it comes to fire outbreaks. What do you think the department can do to erase that perception, or at least change it?
Well, what we are doing now is to continue our education, to let them understand that if you have your investment, until you complement the effort of the fire service by availing yourself for the fire safety education and implementing those measures, your investments can be destroyed within a second with fire. Lives has also not been left out. Certain time lives goes with those fire outbreaks. So we will continue to educate people. That is why for now, in the rural areas, we are involving the chiefs and opinion leaders. In those areas, they listen to the chiefs and opinion leaders so much. So if the chiefs and opinion leaders are involved in this aspect, it simply means that those other followers will definitely also pick whatever we are giving them. They will readily avail themselves. It is when you have availed yourself and you have listened to the safety educational measures that definitely you will understand and know what you can do to prevent some of those ones. Then we are also involving the pastors and the imams and all these people, that they should also be part of it. And as long as they are becoming part of it, they also enable those of their followers also to listen to some of those ones. So it is about we appealing to the people from their leaders, and apart from that, we are also enforcing our LI 1724 Fire Precaution Premises Regulation 2003, which stipulated clearly that commercial premises, schools, entertainment places, and all that should have a fire certificate. What it means is that when you fail to put in measures that will prevent fires within your premises, either your premises is closed down or you are even taken to court. So if you fail to listen to the appeal that we are giving out, then we come in to enforce you to protect your own property.
Okay. Now we've gone over courses. We've also gone over prevention. Now, when it comes to actual firefighting, what is the response time for the fire service? Because that is very important. You have to, there's an inextricable link between response time and then the loss of life and property. What is the standard response time for the fire service?
Our response time actually should be about 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes. That is if we do not have a fire station within that community. If you have a fire station in that community, it should be 4 minutes. Why? Because when you have a fire initiated in any premises within 4 minutes, if you are not able to handle it, the next 1 minute is enough to, the fire to engulf the whole premises. So that is what I said earlier on, that the chief officer was trying so hard to have fire station in all the communities. But what's actually kick against some of this our response time is that the people actually at times when the fire occurs, they want to try their hands on it until it is out of hand that they call fire service. There is something we call the golden hour when it comes to emergency situation. The golden hour is the time that the incident occurred and how soon it gets to the fire service, how rapidly the fire service is able to respond to the scene. So when you have fire within your premises and it takes you time to call the fire service, as soon as we get it, because we are ready, we would deploy people to the scene. apart from people delaying to call the fire service in time, there are also recalcitrant drivers on the way that also block access to the fire service.
So sorry, let's go back to the first point you made. I wanted to ask. So for instance, if I walk, someone walks into their apartment and then their curtains are on fire, they go straight. They're not supposed to try and use a fire extinguisher or anything. They have to call the fire service.
Yeah, you need to call there are procedures to that.
Okay.
As soon as you realize there is fire, that you quickly have to call the fire service first. Before call the fire service first. Before
and not do anything about it.
No, you shout fire first.
Right.
That is to alert others. Maybe probably there are other users within the premises. Then you quickly have to call the fire service before you find out if it is safe for you to use the extinguisher. It's not only you having an extinguisher that every fire you rush into it trying to extinguish it.
Right.
When you call the fire service, try to find out if it is safe for you to use the fire extinguisher before you use it. But as you are leaving the premises, each entrance that you pass through, you need to shut the door to prevent oxygen from entry, because we know oxygen support the burning. So just call the fire service as soon as you realize that there was fire in there. That is the first thing you do after you shout to alert others. Then when you call the fire service and we get in there and probably you are able to extinguish the fire, so be it. But for people to think that the best they should do is to try to extinguish the fire when it is out of hand before they call the fire service, who will get there by that period the fire has already taken ground, and then it might even destroy the property before we get in there.
Okay, now let's talk about how equipped are you as a department? Let's be very honest here.
Oh, of course, there is nothing to hide. The fire service is equipped with basic firefighting and rescue equipment.
Okay.
As we are talking, just 3 weeks ago, the chief officer has also commissioned 5 rescue teams.
5 rescue teams.
When you say fire service, people only look at fire service to be only for fire, fighting. It's not. When there is building collapse, the fire service is the first, responder. Yeah. When there is an accident where people are trapped in, the fire service should be the first responder as well. When other agencies like the police and ambulance will follow also to assist, because it's on record that several people died out of road traffic, collision. They did not die because of the impact of the incident, but unprofessional handling of people. That has caused that. So these 5, rescue teams that we have is also to assist, because they have been deployed at advantage. But we have one on Tema motorway, one in Tema itself. NY Highway is having one, and Central Accra is another one, and Amasama area also have one. So that in case of any emergency like accident or building collapse, when you call them, they should be able to get there in a good time. We also have a firefighting.
How many trucks do you have? How many trucks?
Trucks in terms of
fire
the
trucks.
rescue.
Yes, fire trucks. Rescue, and then the ones with the ladders. How many do you have?
With the ladders, that's turntable ladders that we use in firefighting at the height, and even for rescue purposes. We have 4 in the system as of now. 4? Yes. We have 4 in the system.
Isn't that a bit worrying? Because it means that if there are high-rise buildings that are in there's a fire, and maybe there's 5 or 6 places simultaneously, then 2 or 3 of them would have to suffer.
Well, of course, I should say with our training, with the high-rise building, we need those turntable ladders to fight and rescue people, but we have also ensured that some of those high-rise buildings, especially those that have submitted their building plans to the fire service, there is an input that we made in it, that you should have a landing valve, you should have certain facilities that even without the turntable ladder, the fire service with their training will be able to assist, improvise certain, facilities to rescue people and to fight fires. So with the turntable ladders here, we have the fire service has actually the basic firefighting and rescue implement, but with the turntable ladder, we are again, requesting that, of course, we wouldn't say this is adequate, that we do not need those other equipment. We are still looking out for, new. There are new technologies, that new equipments are coming in. We are requesting that other equipment, such as even the helicopters and other things for firefighting, could be added. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anaglate. He's the Deputy National Public Relations Officer for the Ghana National fire service, right? Fire service. We keep saying fire service. Okay, so that was some education on fire prevention, the causes, the effects, and how we can, in our own little way, help in mitigate fires in our areas.